Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Tuesday night. I'm here. I have no clue what to expect. This is kind of a last minute, hey, we're going to go on tonight. Sounds like Peter with Princesses and the Mouse is going to join us. We'll have some news. We'll do a top three. We'll talk a little bit about the new segment that's coming later on this year. And should be fun. So stick with us. This is Disney Planning Insights Live. Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. It's a Tuesday night. Got Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel getting ready over on the other screen. We'll jump over to him as soon as it looks like he's set up. Wasn't going to go live tonight. Peter had a golf match, an away golf match, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, I can be there, so we're going live tonight. So, quick show, as quick as a show can be, and we'll have some fun tonight. We got a decent amount to talk about. There's not a ton of news going on. It's World Princess Week this week, so got a little bit to talk about with that. We got a little bit to talk about with some more dates selling out with Not So Scary. A little bit more to talk about with the DeSantis and Disney and the Central Florida Tourism District and all the BS that's going on with that. I mean, there's just a lot to that still to unpack, and new stuff that came out this week, which who knows how true it is or how overblown it is, but it could be a relatively big thing if anything comes of it. So no, we got a good show. It looks like I am as unstable as all get out tonight. So if we are a little bit sketchy on the show tonight, I'm sorry about that. We'll see if we can't get this to stabilize a little bit here while we're getting Peter up and going. Looks like my bitrate is really high, but it is all over the place. So we'll see if that figures itself out here. Like I said, right now it's just super high. I don't know why, but Peter just gave me the thumbs up, so it looks like we're ready to go over there. So I am going to bring him on. This is Peter with Princesses and the Mouse at Disney Travel. Peter, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well. Hopefully my sound and everything. My area is in flux right now, so I think I should look and sound okay. I think I got it sorted out. So
yeah, no, you perfectly fine. So news this week. There's a bit, not a ton. There's a bit. Let's start out with the big ones here. Rogers the Musical not going to be extended past August the 31st. You got to see the show. Is it something that wasn't sustainable, or is it something that they just wanted it to be like a short-term thing while they were getting something else ready in the theater?
Was able to see the show, like you said. Recorded most of the show as well, so unfortunately, we don't have a curtain-to-curtain show because a wonderful cast member who clearly saw what I was trying to do prior to the show waited until the show started to come and talk to me. And then I had to completely readjust everything and then stop recording, start recording. Then she made me hold the camera the entire show, so my arm gets tired at various points. There was one point where I had gotten into a really nice setup. I was kind of resting my arm against the post, and she again came over and went, "Hey, you have that on this?" "Yes, I do." So there's probably a couple of times where you can hear me going, "Yeah, shut." So the anyway, back to your question though. Really great show. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and if you have the ability to get out there, make sure you go see it. It's only available on certain days, which I kind of got lucky that I did that little bit of research before I got out there, because otherwise the second day that I was there, I would have been sadly disappointed because it was not available. And it's a big production. I'd say probably 30 performers, pretty decent sized set pieces. It kind of chronicles the whole Steve Rogers becoming Captain America. If you saw that first Avenger movie, I know that Iron Man was the first, but literally Captain America is called Captain America the First Avenger. Right? Before anybody's like, that wasn't the first one. Yes, I know. Iron Man was the first one. But it could be sustainability, but it could also just be, they wanted it to be something that was, kind of exclusive. Frozen ran for a really long time in the Hyperion, so it is kind of funky that this isn't running a bit longer. But from what I saw, I mean, the show was packed, like floor to ceiling, every seat. I mean, I was up in the nosebleeds on purpose because I wanted that shot. But even that area was like really good. So it's definitely not for lack of popularity.
Yeah. No, and like today they had something that the virtual queues weren't running, that you had to do standby. I don't know. That to me, it kind of boggles me. Other than, do they have something that they're going to put in there for Halloween? With that coming up, so who knows?
And maybe bring Rogers back or something.
Yeah. So I don't know, but again, last show date's going to be the 31st of August. So if you do want to catch that while you're out in California, definitely get out there. You got 9 days now. Disney World releases some more information about Moana's Journey of Water. Definitely pushing that late 2023 timeline now, which kind of sucks because we were kind of hoping to get through it while we were out there for D23.
I still think there's a chance.
Yeah, there might be, because you never know what's going to be in that swag bag of goodies. If they throw an exclusive walkthrough for D23.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some videos the other day of people from up in the monorail, and the area in there is clearly just about ready, and there were lots of people in there. It could have just been more cast member previews, but there was a good amount of people in there. So like you said, maybe we get everybody who's at D23, if they are at Epcot, they have kind of I don't know. I'm really excited. I know this is completely off show topic, but for those of you that are board game and card game people, the big news this week is that
Lorcana.
Last Friday, Lorcana. Oh, and I went and bought all the starter decks and a few packs of cards, and we have now played it several times. It is, if you are a Disney fan, it is phenomenal. It hits general markets September 1st, but it has gone out exclusively to what's called again, if you're a board and card game person, you know this, but for those of you that aren't, it has gone out to FLGS, friendly local game stores.
Uh-huh.
So they did an exclusive FLG release, allowing those brick and mortar game specialty places to get it first. And then bigger chains are going to be, you're going to start seeing it in stores here in the next week or so. I believe September 1st is the official day that it'll start showing up, because I know that some online retailers are like, they already have it in their websites as an item, and it shows September 1st. But what I'm really excited about is last D23, they released 10 teaser cards that are now part of the game. So they were the same 10 cards that you can now get in the starter packs, but they had a little D23 logo on the bottom. And I got one at Gen Con that is unique and special. And I'm really, really hoping, because we are bit hook, line, and sinker into Lorcana, and I am really hoping for some Lorcana special cards, whether they're sneak previews of Series 2 or maybe some legendary or rainbow cards. I'm really hoping that is available in the vendor area or wherever else in D23. That's my big hope now.
Yeah. No, so Lorcana actually debuted at Gen Con here in Indianapolis a few weeks ago.
Did I? I don't think I told. I think I might have. I probably didn't tell you. I don't think I've talked to you. So the Lorcana line, to get into Ravensburger, who's the publisher of this, was the Ravensburger line was 2 to 3 hours long at all times. And when the expo closed the night before, people would start queuing up in the hallway and spent the night.
Yeah.
Like,
they were showing it on the news. Yeah. Wild. It was crazy.
It really was.
No, and for you that are in the parks, the card game's going to be released in the parks as well. Disneyland Paris already has it on the shelves. Land and World are supposed to have it here this week at some point, but we haven't seen it yet. So
I got news for you, buddy. Man, when we're down there, you better believe I'm gonna be buying some booster packs. I'll bring it. Are you planning on buying it?
I thought about it. Yeah.
I can bring the decks are easy to transport. I can bring the decks down to Florida here in a couple of weeks, and we can sit down and have a drink back at the hotel and play the game one night.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll throw the GoPro on us and do a Lorcana special.
Well, yeah, we'll go live and we'll do a Lorcana special.
All right. Disneyland Resort released their Halloween treats issue and the Disney Eats Foodie Guide. Lots of cool things. Disney does such a good job with their specialty foods. So if you're interested in it, over at Disney Food Blog or the Disney Parks blog, you can check out Disneyland's food guide. The Disney World food guide was released about a month ago. Tiana's Place officially opens at Disneyland Park on September 7th. So this is Tiana's Palace, and it's going to be an eatery over there at Walt Disney or at Disneyland. I would imagine that we're going to get that at World at some point as well.
That's what the Pecco's Bill is rumored.
Yeah.
To be on its way to Tiana's Palace. I kind of anticipate that being an announcement that happens. I'm also curious with the new construction where that briar patch where the store was. There's potential there. I don't know how big it is back behind, but you could also see a smaller version of like Tiana's Foods go right there and just make it like a little quick service that serves like mint juleps and beignets. Well, because
that's back out that way that they're trying to talk about that in Kanton's expansion and that kind of stuff too.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking it immediately like right there next to the ride versus putting in a merchandise shop. You could very easily, again, to the left of the entrance, not through the exit.
Yeah.
Like you could easily put in at Disneyland. There is a little quick service window, and that's what there's other things there, but primarily it's in New Orleans Square, and it serves beignets and mint juleps, and I could see them doing something like that and making it Princess and the Mouse theme and just or Princess, Princess in the Frog thing. Freudian slip right there. Hey, if you need a Disney vacation.
Not that we have anything going on with Disney coming up or anything. No, let's move on. The Vanellope meet and greet permanently closed at Epcot.
That's a shame. That one was fun.
It was, but we're gonna get the full size plush Figment there. So
that is also fun because I am a big fan of Figment.
Yes. So
although that ride needs some TLC.
It does. It does. But did you see what Vekoma released for their above rail cars? So
what?
So the roller coaster company Vekoma released single rail cars that allowed 20-degree tilt access in all directions and 360-degree swivel. Those need to be used in Disney somewhere. They're awesome.
That would actually work. Just install the new track.
Yeah. So
I thought you said BOMA at first. The rest of the roller coaster company didn't come through when you said the word. So I was like, the BOMA? What did BOMA do?
Yeah. the restaurant at Animal Kingdom Lodge?
Yeah, what are you talking about the restaurant in Animal Kingdom Lodge for?
All right, Epcot and Hollywood Studios are getting their trams back. So this September, parking trams will return to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. With this update, trams will once again be available at all Walt Disney World theme parks.
Doesn't impact us very much.
Yeah, nothing more to say there. We don't park.
Yeah, us, but lots of other people will be happy.
Yeah. And I am patiently waiting on the D23 schedule. Not so patiently waiting on the D23 schedule. It's getting to the point where it's kind of ridiculous now.
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
From tomorrow. It's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yep. San Francisco Square about done.
Yeah, don't get too excited about that. It's literally just a bunch of quick service restaurants.
Disney announces 12-episode Frozen podcast that takes place after the events of Frozen 2. It arrives in October. Forces of Nature Season 1 features Anna, Elsa, Olaf, and several new characters trying to bring order to the kingdom and restore the spirits of nature. Okay. I want to get into this Disney DeSantis thing again. This has been like kind of ongoing for the last for the show for probably the last 3 months. We've been on it. But so the newest thing that came out over the weekend, yesterday it kind of came to a head, is that Reedy Creek's tax money was being used to pay for Disney employee benefits. So basically what was happening is that for Disney employee annual passes, for Disney employee hotel discounts, for Disney employee family park passes, Disney would send a bill to Reedy Creek Township to have it paid. So it's not like a regular company that says, hey, here's a few pens, this is going to kind of come out of our bottom line. Disney was getting their taxing district to pay for the perks for their employees. I mean, other than being, I would imagine, extremely illegal.
Unethical at the least.
Yeah. This is going to be something that's worth watching what happens with it. Because the bill that was sent to the new Central Florida Tourism District features a charge of $492,382 for Q1 fiscal year 2022 tickets. The scheme included the Reedy Creek ID government paying for discounts enjoyed by employees on all Disney purchases. Line items include government paid handouts for merchandise discount usage, food and beverage discount usage, water parks discount usage. It also includes employee handouts for hotel usage at the Disney Yacht Club Resort, Disney Caribbean Beach Resort, and Disney Coronado Springs. It's a crazy like turn in this, where for the most part it was just like, well, you said bad things about me, and we're gonna say bad things about you, and blah 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 blah. This is kind of like the first substantiated claim either side has really had about anything. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Disney World and Disneyland Resorts app now features much needed Genie Plus Lightning Lane filter on the tip board. If you toggle on, you'll only see attractions that offer Genie Plus Lightning Lane. A minor update, but really helpful. And then Disney is going to be releasing a bunch of the series from Disney Plus on Blu-ray and 4K UHD here soon. I don't know that it gave a date. Loki Season 1 is going to be the first one that comes out. Then we're going to have The Mandalorian Seasons 1 and 2 and WandaVision are going to be the other two series.
Yeah, I always forget about WandaVision. That might be perfection in a TV show.
Really?
It's so good.
Yeah, I enjoyed WandaVision. It just, for me, it didn't go up. It didn't go up on the initial watch.
I want season 2.
Yeah, well,
I want more Agatha Harkness.
Yeah, that's gonna be season 2 of that, basically.
Right, the story of Agatha.
Yeah, which they have in the works, pending a, SAG and writer's strike. But,
well, you can't keep everybody happy.
Anything else from the parks that you have seen, heard, people should be aware of?
I have seen and heard very little.
I know it's been relatively slow.
It also meant that I've been excessively busy.
Well, you got school starting up, so I completely understand that with everything that goes on with 2 kids and teaching classes and all that kind of stuff. So, nope, I try and stay on top of it as much as I can. It is World Princess Week. Make-A-Wish Foundation did something cool yesterday with Bippity Boppity Boutique. They did 50 simultaneous princess glam ups at the parks yesterday, which was pretty cool. So if you're into that kind of stuff, Give Kids the World down in Florida does a great job with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Definitely check out their site if you want to donate today. All right, that's going to do it for the news. Are you ready for top 3?
Does Shannon like ears?
She does. She loves ears.
Okay.
She
does it.
All right. I feel like that's going to go somewhere else later in the conversation. Top 3 time. Oh, I like it. I like it. With our Boo Sheet shirts.
Yeah.
Business trip.
Did the people move around?
It does tingle a little bit. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. It is top 3 time. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If you haven't been here before, what we're going to do is we're going to pull out a poker chip out of this bag. I already did it. I don't know why. And Peter and I are going to give you our top 3 on a randomly chose category. Tonight's category is number 7. Number 7 is going to be... Yeah, I feel like we've done 7 here recently. Nobody wants to see that. So let's put you back up on the screen. Let's go back over here. I am subtly unprepared. Number 7. Okay. This is one that we're going to have very slim pickings on. Your favorite moment in Harmonious.
What? Who comes up with these ideas?
Well, since I get no help, they're all mine.
This is a terrible one.
I know, this is... we don't have a lot to choose from. But you get 30 seconds to figure it out, so... have fun with that.
Yeah, I have 30.
Do you want to go to Disney? Contact me at Princess of the Mouse Travel, and I'd love to work with you on your amazing itineraries.
I just realized that I didn't put the actual call to action stuff in there. So if you want to book with us with Peter's creepy voice and that kind of stuff, go over to Facebook, type in PATM Disney Travel. You'll find us there, or you can go to the Wix site. It goes down on the bottom, but it's patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning, and we can help you plan your trip. And basically all of 2024 for World is open. Disneyland opens up here September 1st, but you can't book more than 499 days in advance, which is weird. Okay. Peter is watching our 4K version of Harmonious right now to figure out what his favorite parts of the show are.
I've got 2, but one of them is number 1, so I don't want...
If you haven't seen the show, go over to our YouTube channel, check it out. We've got a great multi-angle option for the show, and it's done very, very well. So great audio. So with him watching that and trying to figure out...
No, I'm not even watching it. I'm looking at... I'm fine.
I will go ahead and...
You go first.
I'm going to go ahead and go first. My number 3 is going to be the transition into the Jungle Book section. Love that little breakdown that they do there. It's my son's favorite part. He loves the Jungle Book section because they're little paper cutouts almost, the way that they move and that kind of stuff. But the transition's really cool because it's like a scat transition, and as they do the transition, it's really stroby and really jagged, and it brings 2 pieces of music together that are very different. So no, it's just a really, really neat part of the show. There's a lot of very cool parts, but just a very neat part of the show, what they were able to do with the syncopation of the music, with the lights, with everything that goes on in that 5 seconds of show. So my number 3 is going to be the transition into the Jungle Book section. Peter, what is your number 3?
How do you remember these intimate moments from this show? I remember that there's water, that there's light, that there's songs.
When I edited that version of...
Oh, you cheated. Yeah, you did all the editing on this multi-angle.
Yeah. So I watched the show probably 200 times.
That's what I mean. This is an unfair I feel like I should text you my 3 so that you don't steal them, because I don't have a 4. Okay, so hold on. Give me 1 second. All right, I need to get the song. All right, so I am going... so my number 3 is... this is one of my favorite songs, and so to see it in Harmonious was awesome. And I just really I'm a big fan of my favorite colors are blues and cool tones, blues, greens, purples, all that good stuff. And the song Reflection sticks out in this show because again, it is like one of my all-time favorite Disney songs. First of all, Mulan, Reflection, and then the live action version of Reflection was even more powerful. So, it's one of my favorite songs, so it just automatically like makes it into this list. But then in there, all of the imagery, all of a lot of the art is really interesting. It's like hand sketched, like you would expect from like a Chinese artist if you like go back to like scrolls from ancient war times. And so I'm a big fan of the Reflection portion of Harmonious because the imagery is very kind of, I don't know how to say, like rustic oriental. I don't know what you would classify that as, but it is. It's like hand drawn where like somebody, kind of did the swoosh brushes to create the characters and
Shannon called it sketch line animation.
Thank you. So it is, but in like an oriental scroll type of style. So I really like that imagery, and that to go along with that song, it is just a really great moment of Harmonious. That one did stick out, so I got to find a second one because I bailed because I couldn't think of a third one. So that was technically going to be my second one. So I'll find a second one so that I can then talk about my first one.
So here's how in depth I know this show. In the Reflections part, at the very beginning, when the rose petals come across, or the orchid petals, cherry blossom petals come across the barges, there's a hidden Mickey in the cherry blossom petals. It's at the very end as it's coming through. There's a Mickey head cherry blossom petal that comes through. So, really cool part. Let's get to number 2s.
I'm still looking at scenes from the show. That's why I'm not looking at the camera.
So, my number 2 is kind of a flashback to Illuminations. So, there was some question on whether they were going to use the pyrotechnic propulsion system that was around World Showcase Lagoon that Illuminations had originally used. They ended up using it in the show, and they use it a couple of different times, once in the finale, but the first time that they use it is extremely unexpected. And the first time that Shannon and I watched it, we were actually sitting right behind one of the systems, and one of them went off right in front of us. Scared the hell out of us. But no, it's a really cool scene, and these just send up like little like flare fireworks up over the center of the lagoon, but they're in front of all the countries, and they continue around in front of Port of Entry. And it's really a cool effect when they utilize those cannons. So they do utilize them twice, like I said, in the finale, but the other time that they use it is very well done as they rotate around and really give you that feeling that Illuminations had as it was building up in that Nations, as they brought the Nations with the lights up and all that kind of stuff. So that is my number 2 moment. Peter?
Too quick.
What is your number 2?
I'm trying to remember where it is my issue right now, because I'm picturing what happens and everything else. And so, Matt, you could probably help me out. Where is the Moana portion? I feel like it's towards the end.
No, it's actually right in the beginning.
Okay, I was in between the two. I was like, it even starts with it. But,
yeah.
So I'm like, I have this, here are the songs that you'll hear and in what order. And I'm like, I know it starts. I thought it started with that, but it says the first Disney song you'll hear is Arabian Nights.
Uh-huh.
So it's just after that, right?
No.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I really like the Moana portion. I was talking before about cooler colors, and I really like what the water does during the Moana portion, because the water is just kind of there, not doing much. But then during the Moana portion, the water sort of jumps to the front of the stage in terms of what's going on. The projections are still going and all of that great stuff. But as How Far I'll Go, and then whatever Tagala, it's almost Tua Tagliavaloa. It's not that. It's like Tagaloa or something like that. But anyway, so those cool colors mixed in with the water. I like what the water does during this scene because it gets a little bit more active and involved beyond just sort of like being there as it is in many other parts of the show. So my number 2 is during the Moana portion, the How Far I'll Go. Great music, really livens up the show. And again, I feel like there is where water is the highlight, as it should be in the Moana song. So that is what I will go with for my number 2. And don't take my number 1.
Yeah, so the Moana section is about a minute in.
Yeah, so you kind of start out and then get to it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So my number 1, and I could have gone a lot of different ways with my number 1, but Shannon brought it up in the chat, and I think I have to go with it. It's the Merida section.
That's not fair. I want Shannon in the chat right now.
Is that your number 1?
I've got my number 1.
Okay. So the Merida section is really, really cool because you get the little like blue like flamey things that she follows through the forest, and a lot of the screen is like her hair at the beginning and just like the bottom of her hair, so it's kind of waving through the screen. And then as it gets into like the actual movement of the music, it's the tapestries and everything. It looks like it's animated in the tapestry form, like Peter was talking about, like the scrolls in the Mulan section. In this section, it's all in the tapestries, and it's a big part of the movie and that kind of stuff. So it goes really, really well. And then in the live version, one of my favorite artists, Lindsey Sterling, actually does one of the fiddles for that song in the Epcot Live, or the Harmonious Live. So no, just a really cool segment. Really good music, and then just the visuals in Harmonious, and it's really hard to say how bright those barges were without you actually seeing it in person, because the colors on them were absolutely spectacular, and I did as good a job as I felt like I could to represent that in my version of it, but it still doesn't come across with how cool those barges were. And I hate that they're tearing them down and probably not using them anywhere else, because that could have been something cool to use at Animal Kingdom or something like that, but is what it is. But my number 1 is going to be the Merida section of the show Harmonious. Peter, before we get to your number 1, where can people find you?
Facebook.
Facebook.
Right, my number 1. No, seriously. Yeah, come talk to me. I'm getting more and more people interested in 2024. I've got a person interested in 2025. I know it's never too early. Like 2025 won't even be available for booking for like 6 months. But like, especially, so this one's going with a large group. So definitely want to get the groundwork laid out and be ready to book when the booking's available. But yeah, find me on Facebook, Princess and the Mouse, not Princess and the Frog, Princess and the Mouse. And we'll talk. We'll talk. So my number 1, and it's more, so this is, of all the Disney movies, of all the emotional scenes, this one, and it could be just because I didn't see it until I was softer in my older daddy age, but the Coco section comes up, and there are the Coco section starts with Lullaby Remember Me. So not exciting, peppy, exuberant Remember Me, but emotional, hug your loved ones, hug the ones you're around, and treasure the fact that they're there with you. Hector singing to baby Coco, Remember Me. And so I couldn't even, like, the Coco stuff comes up on the barges, and the lights kind of shift to not so bright in your face, but to a more, again, like kind of a melancholy type of level. And that comes over, and it is a very emotionally moving portion of the show. And then they very smoothly transition into Worldis Mi Familia, where then the lights and everything start to kind of vibrant back up, and you start to get the bright kind of Mexican culture, Hispanic culture type vibes, and you get the louder crescendoing of the music. And so, I mean, it is a roller coaster to get through the Coco section of the show. It really, really is. And it was one of my favorite portions of the show, because I remember kind of getting hit in the feels and then like pepping back up. And I'm like, wow, that is really impressive that you can do that. You know, because the show at Magic Kingdom, what I love about the what we missed about Happily Ever After is Happily Ever After starts, and then the villains crash it down, and then the heroes bring it back. Like, you want that roller coaster. You don't just want, look at us, hype, 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 hype. Like, and so that's what I'm going to go with for my number one. The Remember Me, as you come into the Coco section, and just kind of like not taking it for granted, and just appreciating your loved ones. That's what I'm going with.
And that section, you know, you said you wish you had Shannon in the text. So her number 3 was the Coco section. Her number 2 was the Merida section. Her number 1 was the Mulan section. You had Shannon in the text. Exactly.
We got it. Shannon, we agree on 2 of the 3.
But yeah, that Coco section, what you were saying, that section opens with them, just a picture of the guitar strings on the barges, and the strum of the guitar strings as it goes into that Remember Me section. And then there's a drum break, and it goes into the La Familia section. And yeah, it's great section of the show. And they actually expand upon it in the post show. So if you stay after, they bring that back a little bit in the post show, which is really cool, because it is a really cool part of the show. So
yeah, and then I think the post show kind of freezes on the spiral of the Heart of Te-Fiti, just kind of sitting on that central display of water. And that's just, and again, like, all the lights are like these cool colors, and so that's really cool to just kind of like be finishing your last drink, or if you can convince the pub in Britain to give you one more, and just sit out from the backside and kind of observe. I've never done that. I don't know.
No. Or just order 2 at last call. You're good to go. No, Harmonious. Let's finish up the top 3 on this. Harmonious is gone now. Unfortunately, it was a show that took a lot of crap at the beginning, and then when you saw it, you were like, it makes a lot of sense in person, but just to not see it in person, it didn't make a lot of sense. I really felt like it was disjointed the first time I saw it. I really felt like the sections didn't flow together really well, but there's a lot of subtlety in the arena that it's held that kind of tied everything together, because you don't necessarily feel that emotion through a screen as much as you do there when you're kind of surrounded by everything. So
I do kind of wish they would have taken those taco barges and created a new nighttime show for Animal Kingdom. Although, to be fair, how often is Animal Kingdom open at night these days?
Why do you put bioluminescent paint in Pandora if you're not going to have it open after sunset?
Okay, but that's a different topic. It still closes at 7 p.m.
I'm just saying, I don't think that was ever the true goal was to close that park early, because they had the Awakening of the Tree of Life. They have the bioluminescent paint in Pandora. They have everything for that park to be open, at least the front half of that park to be open. Close Africa, close Asia, have the front half of the park open.
Yeah, Pandora through Discovery Island, and you need to keep at least the Everest portion of Asia, otherwise you kind of lose people.
Yeah.
But yeah, they absolutely could have, though. Now, granted, those barges were massive, and that lake in between Asia and Discovery Island is not that large, but you could have kept one or two of them, and you could have easily stored them down the river and then pushed them back out, and stored them and pushed them back out, and it would have been a production, but it would have been cool to put two of those back near Flame Tree Barbecue, and then put some type of a show on the water with barges and everything like that, similar to what Fantasmic does, and then have those back clamshells be kind of the backdrop of it all. And you could even just sort of put them on a rail to where they slide back against the shore and kind of hide and then push out.
Yeah.
So
and
there were definitely lots of things to do.
They could have integrated the drones with it like they're doing in Paris with the shows right now.
Yeah, so you do two of those clamshells and drones, and you got a heck of a nighttime show.
Yeah, and you don't have pyrotechnics or anything like that.
Characters doing choreographed dances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
done.
No.
Call me if you want me to write out this show. You hear me tomorrow? Call me.
We're all over it. Well, Peter, thanks for joining me tonight. Hang on the line. We'll talk a little bit. Everybody else, thanks for joining us. Glad you could come. Definitely like, subscribe. Tell us your favorite moment from Harmonious in the chat or in the comments. And we will see you next Tuesday. Talk to you later.
Comment is...
Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel joined us tonight. We talked some news, and our top 3 was top 3 moments in Harmonious. Check it out. If you're looking for us on social media, you can find us in a lot of different places. The easiest is going to be over on Facebook. The show is at DPI Podcast. The travel side is at PATM Disney Travel. For more candid interactions, go over to Twitter or X or whatever they're going to call it and look up Disney Insights. And we're also on Instagram. Thank you guys all for watching, listening, liking, sharing, everything that you do to support the show. Have a good week, and we will